200,000 miles from Earth, an oxygen tank ruptured, blowing away a portion of the Apollo 13 spacecraft. To survive the sudden loss of power and oxygen, the three astronauts sealed themselves inside the adjoining lunar module. This chart shows the immediate problem they faced. The lunar module's life support was built for 2 astronauts, not 3. With every exhale, the extra astronaut was rapidly overloading the scrubbers, the filters that remove toxic carbon dioxide from the cabin air. The crew had plenty of backup scrubbers sitting unused inside the crippled command module, but the shapes didn't match. The command module filters were built as square boxes, while the lunar module receptacles were perfectly round cylinders. You couldn't just plug them in. Unless the crew could force a square peg into a round hole, using only what was already floating around the cabin, they would suffocate. As the astronauts waited in the dark, reconciling those 2 incompatible shapes shifted to a windowless room in Houston, Texas. Here, lead flight director Gene Kranz, known by his call sign White Flight, took charge of the crisis response. Kranz and his team didn't rely on sudden flashes of brilliance or lucky breaks. They relied on a rigid operating doctrine that dictated exactly how they solved problems. Pop culture remembers this crisis with the famous catchphrase, "Failure is not an option." But Kranz never actually said that during the mission. Instead, his team's method was far more methodical, calmly laying out every available path forward and discarding any option that ended in losing the crew. This icy composure was forged 3 years earlier. During a routine ground test for Apollo 1, a fire swept through the capsule, killing 3 astronauts. The tragedy exposed severe negligence, faulty design, and a team that had grown complacent with their schedules. In the agonizing aftermath, Kranz called his team together. He delivered an address that demanded a permanent change in their culture, a code of accountability that became known as the Kranz Dictum. He told them that from that day forward, mission control would be known by 2 words: tough, meaning forever accountable for what they do or fail to do, and competent, meaning they would never take anything for granted or be found short in their knowledge. That history stripped away the typical habits of a massive bureaucracy, replacing them with a unit prepared for the cascading failures of Apollo 13. Back in 1970, with 3 men suffocating in the lunar module, the White team put that doctrine to work. They immediately froze the crisis, initiating a strict audit of every remaining asset. They locked down strict constraints on water, electricity, and oxygen consumption. Simultaneously, they calculated the exact engine burns required to correct the spacecraft's trajectory back toward Earth. Meanwhile, the engineering floor had to design a physical adapter for those CO2 scrubbers. They were restricted to using only the items already on board: cardboard from manual covers, plastic bags, a spacesuit hose, and duct tape. The engineers successfully built a working prototype in Houston, but they faced a massive operational hurdle. They had no way to transmit photographs or blueprints up to the spacecraft. Instead, they had to describe the hardware hacks step by step over an audio link, trusting that the exhausted crew could interpret the verbal instructions and assemble the parts correctly. This was a test of whether technical discipline could overcome a total lack of visual contact. The crew followed the instructions, taped the makeshift adapter together, and plugged it in. The carbon dioxide levels dropped back to safe margins, keeping the astronauts alive long enough to navigate Earth's atmosphere and splash down in the Pacific Ocean. The ground team's execution did not go unnoticed. For their precise management of the crisis, the mission operations team was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Looking back at the rescue, Gene Kranz rejected the idea that they were saved by a miracle. To him, it was a deliberate victory born from what he called the human factor. He defined this factor as the sheer willpower and ingenuity of a highly energized team, working in complete unison to solve a single, overwhelming problem. Results on this scale aren't a result of sudden inspiration. They are built, layer by layer, by a culture that demands its people be forever tough and competent.